Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished Manchester United 2, Galatasaray 3. It's a defeat. For me, it puts Erik Ten Hag on the brink. I think that game against Brentford could very well be Ten Hag's last stand because and I will talk about that more. But the fact is, I think this is a defeat that is going to be really costly. Andre Onana, I mean, he's to be blamed for that. I think he's got to be blamed for that defeat, not just for the fact that he got a player sent off. Obviously he was at fault for the third goal as well a little bit. I think he went down way too early when he could have saved it. So even before that, actually, he gave away a chance which should have been a goal, and he got away with that. So I do feel that in some ways it is the end game for Ten Hag. You can use all the movie metaphors you want, last stand, end game, whatever. But I think that game against Brentford is now going to be absolutely crucial for Ten Hag's future at Manchester United, because if they lose that game, and I feel like they will lose that game, because I can't see where United are going to get a draw, a point from. I forget about a win. I don't even see how they're going to draw these games. I just don't see how you could keep him at the club anymore, because it's quite clear that he's done. And let's go right back to the start, because when the teams came out, right, when Manchester United came out, I saw the body language. Now, it doesn't always tell you a story, but in the body language, what I could tell is that the players, most of the players, there was a little bit of trepidation, there was nervousness. Even the manager was, even Ten Hag had a bit of nervousness, a bit of trepidation. It's almost like these players were scared. They were scared going to this game and there is fear at Manchester United. There's a fear of the players. They're afraid of losing. They're afraid of making mistakes. They're afraid of doing anything that is going to, be risky, anything that's going to cause any kind of criticism. They're all out on their confidence is shot. And you could see that in the body language right at the start of the game. You could see that in the way that Galatasaray approached this game, where they were like, this is a team that we can take apart. This is a team that we can score against. This is the team that we don't mind leaving space open against, because we know that when we go forward, we can hurt them. That is not what you want to be seeing when teams come to Old Trafford if you're Manchester United, but that is where Manchester United are. And it shows. And I said this through preseason, Ten Hag looks like a man who's resigned to his fate, who's basically accepted that there is nothing he can do at this point to change this club, and that he's just got to wait it out, either till he gets sacked or till the owners leave. And I think what's going to happen is he's going to get sacked. But let's talk about the positives. I thought the two big positives today was Casemiro. I thought he was fantastic before he got sent off. Looked really good. Some of the passing was really brilliant, especially in that first half. There was a clear-cut idea of what Manchester United want to do, and I think Casemiro was central to that in the first half. Looked really good. I thought Amrabat looked really good as well in the first half. Well, he was allowed to do what he wants to do. But and I think what Galatasaray did in the second half very well was everything that they didn't do well in the first half, which was they closed down the space for Casemiro, they closed down the space for Amrabat, they forced Amrabat to be a left back rather than be a centre midfielder, which Amrabat isn't. And every time this happens, every time in the second half, you notice that Amrabat, when he has to play left back, he can't do it because he's not a left back. And then he gets exposed and he gets caught out. And in the first half, teams allow Amrabat to kind of figure move around. Maybe Amrabat figures out where the space is and kind of finds that. And then with good managers, they go, right, these are the spaces that Amrabat is taking up, so let's lock these up so that we can push him and force him to play left back rather than center midfield, and then we can get at him. But I thought he was good in the first half. I thought Casemiro was good in the first half. He would have been my man of the match. For Manchester, in the first half, he probably would have been my man of the match because he was so excellent. And then the two goals for Rasmus Hojlund were really good. Both goals were well taken. The first goal, it's a cross from Rashford on the right wing, which is right foot. I've always said Rashford is a very good right foot. He's got a very good delivery about him. It's just that a shame that he doesn't like to use it. He likes to be a shot, a shooter and a goal scorer rather than wanting to be someone who can create chances. Because he's got a very good cross on him and a good right foot, to pick passes out from. He doesn't use it, but he uses it. There's a good cross. And Hojlund, all he has to do is make sure he gets it on target, and ahead of the defender, which he does. Makes it 1-0. Good finish, a good goal for him as well. He needs goals. Hojlund needs goals because he's not scoring many in the Premier League. He's not scored any in the Premier League. And he doesn't get a lot of chances anyway, but he's got to keep scoring goals, to make sure that his development progresses. But it's a good goal. 6 minutes later, Manchester United go 1-1. And it's just poor defending. Poor defending. It's a straight long ball over the top. And this is the story of Manchester United season. Play well for the first 20 minutes. Usually they don't score a goal, but today they scored a goal. And then after 20 minutes, opposition starts to figure out, their movement, their runs, and then some kind of lapse of concentration happens, and the opposition scores a goal. Usually it's to go 1-0 up. Today it was to go 1-1, but still it was a long ball over the top. Zaha has the ball. I mean, Dalot's got to do much better there. I don't think Varane was at fault, and I don't think Onana was at fault, but I think Dalot was completely at fault for that goal, because he's got to make sure that Zaha doesn't get to the ball first. If Zaha has got to the ball first, he's then got to make sure that Zaha doesn't get a shot away. Right? After that, it's too late. Whatever he does after that is too late. Once he's got a shot away, he's got a shot away. He's allowed Zaha to get ahead of him. He's allowed Zaha to take a shot, and he's just trying to block it. And when you make a block, sometimes many times you get lucky and it will go bounce over or it will go somewhere else. But oftentimes deflections can make it harder for goalkeepers to save, and that's what happened here. The deflection that he got still kept it on target, and it just made it difficult for Onana to save it. And it became 1-1. And again, United had to go all over again. Second half, again, did the same thing, played very well for the first 20-25 minutes, got 15-20 minutes actually, and they got that goal again, that second goal. Again, very good goal. It was a good pass, but Davinson Sanchez makes a mess of it. You probably should be cutting it out, but actually it was not even a pass. Actually, it was a ball back, wasn't it? It wasn't a pass. It was a ball back from Galatasaray defense to from midfield to defense was Sanchez. And Sanchez just misses it by slipping, and good on Hojlund for having that awareness to know that where to be and to make sure that he took advantage of it. It's a good run, and he scores a goal, and he does exactly what Rashford should have done a few moments ago when he had the ball and he decided to pass it to Bruno for whatever reason. I have no idea why he chose to pass it. This is what Rashford decision making is so lax for him. Sometimes when he should shoot, he passes. When he should pass, he shoots. It's just his decision making is absurd sometimes for Rashford. But this one from Hojlund is a very good finish, and he makes it 2-1. And surprise, Rashford actually went off this time, which is interesting to know. But it was 2-1. It probably should have been 2-2 when there was a chance, I think, for Garnacho where it fell to Bruno and Bruno couldn't take it. And from that counter thing, and then things just fell apart after that for some reason. From that counter, the ball goes out to the right. Boey puts the ball in. Koglu scores. It's a very good finish from Koglu, and it's actually said against poor defending. I mean, I'm not going to blame Onana for the second goal because it's just poor defending. Amrabat gets exposed as a left back. He's not got the pace to keep track of Boey, so he lets him go free. Varane should probably do a little bit better in terms of cutting that cross out, but he doesn't. And there's nobody tracking in midfield because everybody's forward trying to get that third goal. There's nobody, you've got Casemiro, you've got Mount, nobody's tracking back, maybe in Bruno as well. None of them are tracking back and trying to stop that cross from coming in, even Eriksen. None of them do that. And that is just poor, marking, poor, nobody's tracking the run of Koglu. And Koglu did some very good runs. Throughout this game, he was really good. I think he probably would be my man of the match because it was excellent throughout this game. It was just that in the first half, they were not finding him. And the second half, they started finding him. He started finding the space and things started happening. And it was 2-2. And at that point, when it was 2-1, I was really happy with that goal from Hojlund. I thought this game is not over yet. Galatasaray can still win it from here. That is how bad Manchester United have become. That even at 2-1, I can't allow myself to celebrate because I'm like, this game is not done yet. And lo and behold, it became 2-2 again. United went to sleep. And then, from that point on, I thought, there's only going to be one win in this. I couldn't see United scoring a third goal, but I could very well see Galatasaray scoring a third goal, which Onana tried his best to help them get another goal. And, with that pass, I mean, that's a shocking pass from Onana. It's got to be said, ball playing goalkeeper or not, that is a shocking pass. That is the pass of a goalkeeper who is basically, who's basically overconfident in his own ability, number one. And number two, a guy who's basically, he's almost thinking he's too good for this team. And he's almost thinking, I'm going to make this pass because I've got nothing else. I made a cross-field pass. The ball has come back to me. I'm too good to put a long ball over the top. So I'm going to play a straight pass to Casemiro because I've got nothing else going on for myself. And that is just poor. That is casual. That is complacent. That is lackadaisical, whatever word you want to use. Casemiro gets, doesn't get to use the ball. I think Casemiro should not tackle in that situation. That's one thing I will say because he tackles. The moment he tackles, he's on a yellow. The moment he tackles and he gets it wrong, he is going to get sent off. He should know that, right? I would have let Icardi, what I would have tried to do is maybe try and try and tug a little bit with Icardi, maybe put him off a little bit, or maybe try and see if I could, get around him, maybe. But I wouldn't tackle him in that situation because I'd be like, I'm going to get off. I don't want to be sent off and go down to 10. So let him do what he's doing. Let him take a shot. He might miss it. I'm trying to stop him from taking the shot as much as I can, but I'm not going to intervene in trying to tackle him. But Casemiro decides that I'm going to tackle him, take the yellow, get sent off. Obviously, it did work in a sense because Icardi missed the penalty. So that did happen. But, when you're down to 10, even if you missed a penalty, you always know that the other team has the advantage and they can come and win the game. And, Manchester United are not the sort of team, and they're not Liverpool. They're not going to win a game from 10 men down. They're not going to do that. So I thought that was a little bit, maybe a little, not naivety, I would say, but just a little bit maybe rashness from Casemiro. But I think he could have maybe thought, maybe just calmed down and said, no, I'm not going to make a tackle. I'm going to, it's easy for me to say it from this position, but When I was watching it and I was seeing Casemiro come in, I was like, don't tackle, don't tackle. Whatever you do, don't tackle. But he went for the tackle and he got sent off. And 2-2, there's always going to be a chance, and there was a chance. And another counter attack. Once again, United got blown open on the counters. How many times this season have we said that? Got blown open on counters because the midfield doesn't track back. The midfield has no one else to track back. It is telling as well that Ten Hag didn't make a substitution for a midfielder. He lost his best CDM and he didn't bring anyone on because he had nobody. There is nobody on the bench. The player they have is Amrabat, and he's playing left back because they have no left backs. So it's just a mess. I thought he could have brought on Dan Gore though. I think he should have brought on. And I will talk about that in a second as well. But nonetheless, go for Icardi. Icardi, what character as well to miss a penalty, but then to still make sure that you score 1-on-1. Onana goes down too easily. 3-2. Galatasaray win. And there was 7 minutes of added time, but at no point that I think United were going to get a third goal. There was just no way. But 3-2, Galatasaray now have 3 points, 4 points rather from 2 games. Bayern Munich as well 1, so they're on 6 points. So, or at least they were winning while I was doing this video. They probably have 1 by now. But it's just it is just a mess. And I think Manchester United, I don't have a problem with it because I'm okay with Europa League football. I love Europa League. I feel that if United go down to the Europa League, they'll have a longer European campaign because there's more opportunity. Because you expect that they will probably make it to the quarters at least if they go to the Europa League. Even if this team gets to the round of 16, they're getting knocked out in the first knockout round. And I know some people think, oh yeah, it's better to be playing Champions League round of 16 than to be the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Maybe you're right. That's your opinion. My opinion is I don't mind the Europa League, but at this moment in time, I think fans can start thinking about Thursday night football because I can't see how United are going to get 10 points from the next 4 games to qualify. I just don't see it happening because Copenhagen are not a bad team. They actually they held Galatasaray 2-2. They almost beat Bayern today. They led against them and they only just about lost. So Copenhagen is not going to be a walkover. They might not even make Europa League, to be honest. But you expect maybe they'll get 4 points from that? I don't think they'll get 6. They might get 4 points from that. And then they're going to lose to Bayern, and they're probably going to lose to Galatasaray. So 4 points, maybe that'll be enough to go over Copenhagen, but it will definitely not be enough to cross Galatasaray Bayern. So I think the best that they can hope for now is Europa League football. That's the reality, but that is beyond the international bay because the short-term immediate future is a massive problem. I thought Rashford today was better than he has been in previous games. But that being said, he's been so shit in the last few games that today was always going to be a step up. He still made that bad decision. I don't think it matters in the end though, because United, every time they score, they seem to let the opposition score as well. It happened against Bayern. It's happened today as well. They score and then they let the other team score. I just don't know what's going on with that defense. What goes on in the mind of those players after they score? Do they think that just because they cannot score goals, that when they score, the opposition can't score goals? Do they think that because they can't make comebacks, therefore the opposition can't make comebacks either? I don't know what goes on in their mind, but it is just not it's just stupidity. And I mean, I can rant for a long time. I don't want to rant, but I want to keep this about the game. But it was Rashford was okay, but not that great. I thought Casemiro, Amrabat had good first halves, but then they faded. Mount faded. Bruno looked very, very poor again. But he's playing right wing, but he still looks so poor. I mean, yeah, Hannibal's head scratching. Hannibal got taken off. I'm assuming it's an injury. I don't think Eriksen did too badly after coming on. He should have had an assist as well for the pass to Rashford. He didn't do too badly, but again, he was not that great either. But I thought Hannibal, the only reason I can see why Hannibal was taken off was because there was an injury. Otherwise, I don't know why Hannibal was taken off. I'm surprised that we didn't see much of Pellistri, which I think says a lot about what Ten Hag thinks about him. I'm surprised we didn't see much of Dan Gore. Dan Gore should have come on in this game because, you're down to 10, you've lost your CDM, somebody's got to come and play there. And it's a lack of belief in youth, lack of faith in youth probably from Ten Hag. Which is there. Yes, they might have very well have lost anyway, and they lost anyway. So you might as well give players a chance. But there's going to be this. It is just difficult at this moment in time, and this brings me to the big point. I think Erik ten Hag is dead man walking at this point. Now he might get sacked after the Brentford game. He might get sacked. The sack is coming. I'm not advocating for a sack. I am not advocating for a sack. I'm not saying he should be sacked. I'm saying he should be given more time. He should not be sacked. But the fact is that it is going to happen because the discontent is growing. The boos are getting louder. Fans are getting exasperated. We're already seeing it on Twitter trending. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. And the reality is that if you don't win games, all the excuses aside, and I know he hasn't been back in the summer. Like I'll say this every time. I don't think he's been back in the summer. I think Manchester United need to clear out a lot of players for them to be able to do anything. A lot of these players need to go. And that is true. But at the end of the day, those players are not going to go anywhere. We know that. And it's the manager that's going to go first. So it's going to happen. I think if you are a Ten Hag backer like I am, I think again you need to brace for the worst. That something is going to change very, very soon. That's what I believe. But let's hope that they can turn it around against Brentford. But I don't see it. I just don't see it happening because this team is gone. And it brings me back again to the start. The team looked short of confidence. They look like many of those players looked like they looked like they had already, they were already dreading what was to come for the 90 minutes. And that's not how you play a football. And I think Ten Hag as well, like I said, the personality that he showed in the first season looked so good, so dynamic. Changes that he was making, everything that he was doing was coming off. This season, nothing seems to be working, and maybe he's also resigned to his fate as well. So it is there. Let's see what happens next. But it's a disappointing defeat for Manchester United. It's a great win for Galatasaray, though. I thought they played really well throughout this game. Defensively, they weren't that good. I think they did a lot of last-ditch defending, and they showed a lot of character to come back from behind twice. But I thought that midfield play was very, very good. Lucas Torreira was excellent. Actogoglu was excellent. And I think that was ultimately, we always talk about midfield. Midfields build the foundations for wins and can turn defeats into draws and draws into wins, and that's what happened with Galatasaray today. Then as much as Manchester United dominated a lot of that game, Galatasaray never looked out of it. They never looked overwhelmed. They kept their heads screwed on straight. They knew what they wanted to do. They had a game plan, and they knew that no matter the fact that Manchester United scored, they believed that they could outscore them. All through this game, you felt that from Galatasaray, and that's how you approach the game. And that's when you play to win, you often win. And that's what it is. So yeah, let's see what happens. Anyway, smash like for Galatasaray. Smash like if Actogoglu was your man of the match. He was my man of the match, of course. Just smash like for that. I feel bad for Rasmus Hojlund because I thought he had a very good game today. Scored 2 goals, but he's just playing in a shit team. He's playing in a team that is nowhere near his level. And there's players in there there are players in that team who think they're better than they actually are, and a lot of them. It's not even about looking in the mirror because we're past that point. A lot of them need to simply leave, and they need to realize that this is not for them. But anyway, that's a conversation for another time. But smash like for guys. That's why do share your comments on the game. I know there's going to be a lot of talk. There's going to be a lot of anger, a lot of barrage of insults against Onana. I've got to say, I think Onana needs to be dropped. I think 2 players that need to not play. I think 3 players that need to not play the next game are Onana, Rashford, and Bruno. I think all 3 of them need to be dropped. For different reasons. I think Onana needs to be dropped because he's a calamity in goal waiting to happen. Bruno needs to be dropped because he's the captain, but he's absolutely not performing at this moment in time. He's having really poor games. And he runs around a lot, he tries hard, but that is not a prerequisite to be playing games. I think he needs to be dropped. And then Rashford needs to be dropped just for his own sake. I think he's just lost confidence. He needs to be dropped. I think he comes off at 60-70 minutes, that's fine. But I think he needs to be dropped just to give somebody else a go and to see things can change. But we'll see what happens. I don't think Rashford and Bruno were at fault for the defeat today, but I do feel that they are not performing at their optimum levels and other players need to be given a go. And anyway, the fact is that Anthony is probably going to start the next game, so somebody's got to come off. It shouldn't be, Casemiro probably will play because nobody else plays position. And then you've got to look at Mount, Hannibal, and Bruno. One's got to come off, and I don't think Hannibal should be the one. I think Mount was a little bit better than Bruno. So anyway, but share your thoughts. Share your thoughts as well. And do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're getting quite close to 420 subscribers. So please do subscribe and help us cross that landmark. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you again very soon because we're going to do a few more videos about the match reactions for all the other games in the Champions League. So stay tuned, subscribe to get notified. Thank you so much. Take care. See you again soon. Bye-bye.